It's almost the end of December. If you're listening to this, you survived 2025. Congratulations. I'm on my third coffee and I've been staring at a slide deck. It was sent to me from a Fortune 500 company that shall remain nameless that uses the phrase digital labor force 14 times in 10 slides. They aren't talking about software, by the way. They're talking about the 4,000 support staff they just rebalanced out the door. We need to talk about what actually happened this year, not the press release version we are fed strategically, and not the transformation journey fluff that consultants sell you for $2,000 an hour. I want to talk about the mess. Do you remember January? It feels like a decade ago. We were all still arguing about whether ChatGPT was woke or just hallucinations. Then DeepSeek dropped that R1 model out of China. Open weights, chain of thought reasoning, running on consumer hardware. It was a bucket of ice water in the face of Silicon Valley, if you ask me. And it proved that you didn't need $1 trillion to build a brain. You just needed to be clever with the math. That was the first crack in the armor. The idea that American hegemony was guaranteed by having the biggest GPU cluster, gone. But the real shift, well, it wasn't the models, it was the agents. Somewhere around June, the conversation in the boardrooms around the world changed. In 2024, executives asked me, how can this help my team write emails faster? By mid-2025, they were asking, how many seats can I cut if I deploy Agent Force? Salesforce wasn't subtle about it. Mark Benioff stopped calling them co-pilots. He called them digital labor. They fired 4,000 of their own people to prove a point. They became customer zero. If we thought that the change around the corporate world was pivotal in 2025, 2026 will be year that will expedite this change, this disruption. Seasoned executives are leaving their corporate posts in droves, some paralyzed with what's to come next, leaving it up to younger people to solve the force that is AI. According to IoT Analytics' latest What CEOs Talked About report, AI took the top spot in CEOs' minds for the first time in Q4 2025, although discussions around a possible AI bubble were on the rise as well. And look at the panic at the top. November was insane. You had Elon releasing Grok 4.1, Google dropping Gemini 3 the next day, and Anthropic shipping Claude Opus 4.5 a week later. It was a bloodbath. I read about the internal code red at OpenAI. Sam Altman sent a memo that basically said, Google is eating our lunch. Stop shipping features and fix the model. They were losing traffic. Real human users were leaving because Gemini could finally think through a problem without losing the thread after 3 turns. I shifted a lot of my AI work from OpenAI to Google because of it. So OpenAI rushed out GPT 5.2 last week. I've tested it. It's terrifyingly good at math. Got a perfect score on the AIME benchmark, but it feels defensive. It feels like a product built by a company that realizes its moat might be drying up. But the part that actually worries me is not the robots taking over. Nope, it's the broken rung. I was thinking to hire a junior developer last month, just a kid to write some test scripts, do the grunt work, learn the ropes. My head developer looked at me and said, Nasia, why? Claude Opus can write that code in 4 seconds for 3 cents. Why are we paying a human salary plus benefits for it? And he was right. Mathematically, he was right. These days, I spend more time playing with Lovable than Chatty. But if we stop hiring juniors, where do the seniors come from in 10 years? We are burning the ladder while we stand on the roof. We are seeing a white-collar recession in the middle of a tech boom. Accenture cut 11,000 people and explicitly said they couldn't be reskilled. Think about the arrogance of that statement. Over 180,000 tech workers have been laid off globally by December 2025, with some estimates reaching as high as 13.8 million discharges across the broader economy. Unlike the interest rate-driven cuts of 2023, the 2025 layoffs were structural. And don't get me started on the Stargate project, $500 billion for a data center. We have towns in New Mexico fighting these projects because they don't have enough water for their crops, and we want to use drinking water to cool down NVIDIA chips so they can generate better marketing copy. It's brittle. The whole system is brittle. We are building a god in a box, powered by a grid that can barely handle a heat wave, funded by debt, and justified by firing the people who are supposed to buy the products the AI is selling. So, what does this mean for us, for you and me? It means competence is no longer the metric. The AI is competent. It means the only leverage we have left is accountability. An AI agent can execute a workflow, but it can't go to jail. It can't look a client in the eye and say, I screwed up and I'm going to fix it. That's the wedge. That's the only place left to stand. 2025 has been the year the machine learned to do the work. It will be recorded in the history of technology, not merely as a period of acceleration, but as a phase transition, the moment when artificial intelligence evolved from a generative tool for content creation into an agentic force for labor substitution. 2026 is going to be the year we decide if the work was the only thing that gave us value. Go hug your kids or your dog, or just touch some grass. The servers are going to hum regardless. Till next time, stay connected.